One of the most hated person here online, Ben Shapiro. Pretty much interesting person, to be honest, because like I always say, get to listen to people that are known to be the most hated, and when you get to listen to them more, you get to see that they actually say things that might make more sense than anybody else. Today we're gonna share more of what he said during an interview that he had in the Iced Coffee Hour regarding his business, his journey, and what it is to be hated and how he deals with that, but more so the mindset of somebody being online, speaking the truth, and it's beyond the money. It's more than that. It's truly making an impact. Being creative, I think it's important. So regardless of you disagreeing with him on a lot of things and hating him for a lot of reasons that might be justified, personally, I don't think so. You're still gonna learn something here. So let's get right to it now. My secret, biggest secret, dirty secret is to me, listen to Ben Shapiro. Because he's the most hated person online. It's so interesting because to me, the more people are hated, the more I actually get to be intrigued by them because I want to hear what they have to say. It's almost like being true somebody that was hiding the truth for so long, and then you discovered one thing, and then you discovered something else, and then you were like, okay, they actually are making sense on a lot of things. You might disagree with me, you might even hate me for things that I'm gonna say and agreeing with Ben, but you know, this is life. And today we're sharing that, but more so understanding the mindset behind it. So Ben Shapiro created Daily Wire along with a couple of things and products, and today it's coming and became a really big, huge platform. And what I find interesting is even with all the hate and all the threat that he gets online, and not only him but the rest of the Daily Wire team, Candace Owens, Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles, and so on, he's still thriving and he's still making and really making that difference and true big impact. And you might hate, you might not like, you might disagree, that's fine, that's all good. We are getting to what it is. We're getting to that interview, and something to know before that is that I don't listen to Ben Shapiro the most from Daily Wire because it's very politic. It has that habit of talking too fast for me, and because English is not my first language, I understand it pretty good. I have no problem, no issue whatsoever with it, but it's not the person I follow the most, not because it's bad, because it's not interesting, not that interesting to me. That's why I like Candace more, because she's talking more about the culture and more about things that I can relate and that I feel like I can share most on, if that makes sense. We're gonna go into two parts. This is gonna be the first part where I'm gonna go with probably the five to six main points that I got to get out of that interview. And the second part is gonna be the rest of the interview. Now, if you want to see the whole interview, if you haven't watched that yet, I'm gonna put the link down below, probably. If not, well, you're gonna have to wait for the next part, the second part, where I'm gonna go to other points.
Would you like to come work over here? So I joined on at Breitbart as an editor at large when I was in my mid-20s, and I was there for, 2012 to 2016. So I was there for about 4 years. As always, I had multiple streams of revenue. So this is sort of how I did my career until I found the thing that worked. So one of my sort of career principles, especially early in your career, is pursue as many opportunities as you can attempt to do well, and then find the one that actually works, and then put all your efforts into that. So it's a diversification strategy. By the way, also a pretty good investment strategy.
Yeah.
It's a diversification strategy for your time and for your career, if you can do it. And then you find the thing that actually works, and then that's where you push. So
that's very interesting for creatives, because we have that tendency to try things. If it doesn't work, we are giving up. And what he says is actually to be able to try many things. And you might not be good at drawing, but you might be great at painting. You might not be good at painting, but you can be good at singing, and so on, right? By doing it, not only you discovering your own skills and you really greater skills, but you're enjoying because you're learning things all the time. You're learning things even when you don't pursue them for the rest of your life. And diversifying your income, revenue, and just your skills all together helps you to be so much more flexible, especially in today's market, because I believe that especially back in the days, we had one way of doing things. We've been learned to always go to school, go to university, get a diploma, work for the rest of your life there, regardless of you liking it or not, but it's the one-way street. Even me, I have that mindset, and that's why it's really hard for me to understand how I can put my mind at so many things if I'm great at so many things. And that's why I've been dabbling into coaching, editing videos, and so on, because I love editing. That's been my first love. I started with editing videos. I would spend hours on editing videos and creating that and really creating that vibe. And for the first time in my life, I decided to let somebody else do it for me. And I'm so grateful for that, and I'm so happy to be able to be at that level of being able to choose one thing that I know if I work enough and really get deeper into coaching, understanding the mindset, and working with people at that level only, I can be even greater, and it's not the end of the way for me. Now I'm helping people getting more confident into their abilities to show up online and really understanding them more at that level. That's why I so agree with him with that idea of diversifying, and between the European African culture and then the American culture, those things are so different, because when it comes to my parents, when it comes to Europe in general, it's always a one-way street where you need to get to school, you need to get to uni, and then you need to get and find a great job and then be happy. And here in America, we have that luck, chance, advantage, I guess, to be okay wherever we are and be able to not have to go through the main road of going to the university to actually be successful, right?
And here's what I want it to look like in kind of general outline, and you have to hit this mark. If you don't hit that mark, that's fine, but you need to explain to me why you didn't hit that mark. And usually firings occur because either bad direction from above, they didn't give people metrics to hit, or the metrics they gave were too vague, or bad direction, or micromanagement, people inserting themselves too much into the process and not letting the person take ownership of the thing, because people who work all want to take ownership of what they do. And then finally, you really have to be able to suss out, this is another one of kind of the sayings that we have at Daily Wire, is that you can't teach effort. If people want it, they want it. And if they don't want it, they don't want it. And you can't make somebody into a person who has effort into a person who wants it. There are lots of talented people, and they just who don't want it enough. I'd much rather have the person who's like gonna do the grunt work, who wants it, like the aggressive. I'd rather have that person who's slightly less talented than the person who's more talented and doesn't have the gumption.
It's so true. Definitely agree. That is the same dynamic you're gonna get into working with people. When you get to coach people, you can't force somebody to make it for it. When you get at the road, you get at a point where you need help so much and so bad that you're ready to do anything and everything for it, you're gonna be open to a lot more suggestions, a lot more options than the person that wants it but not so much, that wants it but not enough, that wants it but not deep enough. And the point here is that people change when they want to change. People get to work on themselves when they decide to work on themselves. And you can do everything you want. That person will never change if they're not ready to change themselves. And the coaching relationship you're gonna have with somebody here, the coaching relationship that I'm gonna have with people, it's not about forcing them to do anything. I'm inviting them. I'm giving them options, right? We're working through them working on that. I'm not forcing them to work on anything. I'm not doing the work for them. I have a lot of friends, and I can see where they need help, and I can see where I can help them. The idea of going to people is definitely contrary to even having a great coaching relationship, and a relationship where they actually gonna get results. Because for somebody to get results is because they want it really bad. And even for me, it works the same way. When I'm ready to do things, I'm doing them. If I'm not ready, I know I can force myself and giving myself the idea or just giving myself the illusion of doing it. But if it doesn't work out, it's because even me, I'm not there yet. So I need to do something before. I don't know what, but I need to work on something before even getting there. The same thing goes with people. You can be skilled and talented and passionate and have a real talent for whatever you want to do. You can be a real creative. When you don't want it enough, you quit. When it's too much for you, you quit. Not because you are less than anybody else that actually doing it and succeeding in it. It's because you are not ready for that. You're not even there yet. You might be there at some point, but not now. Not at the moment. Not for the moment. You can have it here. Doesn't matter if you don't use it. And we all have those gifts. I have a friend that I know. She can be a great coach. Like a great coach. I know it, I feel it, but she's so scared of just getting into the emotions, of working through emotions with people, because she is scared of working on her through those emotions. So if she's not ready for herself, imagine being ready for other people out there. Because getting into the coaching, yes, you're helping people, you're serving people, you're asking questions, you get to build a trust where people can open to you and be comfortable enough to you to give you so many things that if you are emotionally not ready to get, it's gonna be hard on you, because it's gonna be too much to handle, because it's gonna be overwhelming for you. So if you are not ready, it's not gonna work. If the person is not ready, it's not gonna work either. So definitely understand what you're saying when it comes to that. The beauty of America is pretty much around finding the sweet spot about what is said. Passionate, skilled, and what people want from you. In Cameroon, or especially in European countries, you have the same one way like I talked about. You have to have a degree for anything, and even to build something, create something is so much harder, because there's so much into the politics that makes it harder for you to even create, to even innovate. And that's why you see the difference between the dynamic here in United States or America in general, because I live in Canada, and the dynamic in Europe. And I see more and more people, especially French people, leaving France and coming here, especially in Canada, in Montreal, because people speak French. But more than that, there's more opportunities here. If you want to be an entrepreneur, especially today, I feel like the best place to be would still be America, more than anything. And for some, it would be Africa, because there's still a lot of opportunities. But you need to know the continent. You need to know people in that continent. You need to be able to go through the culture, because there's gonna be a lot more challenges, especially for a foreigner, to get there and understand what is even going on. So it is possible. But I feel like in America, there's that formula already being laid out, where you just have to follow it and it's gonna work at some point. I even feel like it's so easier than once you do that here, you're pretty much more stable to go anywhere else and do it, because it's gonna be so much more solid if you build it that way, and really with that strength that even if you go to Africa tomorrow, like me being African and dreaming about building something there as well, if I get to do that here, it's easier for me to expand it and get to any country in Africa for the matter. Not only because I grew up there, so I'm pretty much aware of the culture, the average culture, but because I learned so much here and it's so much more solid. So that formula works really easily. A lot of people can think what they want to think about America being anything and everything, but at the same time becoming a sort of mess in a way, but still where there's opportunities. And when you really get to the basics you talked about, the more you're doing it, the more it's gonna be more clear for you from what people want from you. And that's why it's important to talk to people. That's why it's important to listen to people, what they say from you, what they see from you. And with what they say, with what you think, and through even connecting and understanding what God himself wants from you, you starting connecting the dots. I always talk about a journey because it is a journey. You're not discovering it overnight. You're not becoming the person that you're supposed to be overnight. Step by step, little by little. But there's still a formula here. And it's important to think about that. Well, I think that's the end for this point. I hope you took something out of. I was a lot more inspired, to be honest. When we talk about business and creativity, for some reason I feel a fire here. So I hope it was interesting for you. I hope you got something out of it, and the second part is gonna come probably the next week or something like that, but get ready for it. It's gonna be interesting. Like I said, if you want to watch the rest of the interview, you can definitely do that. It's gonna be down below, like hyperlinked. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. There's gonna be a lot more content like that. You're gonna see anything and everything. That's a bit of the principle here for now, but it's still gonna be fun, interesting, entertaining, and all at the same time valuable for you. If you're creative, you want to start something, you want to know yourself more through connecting with God, being the creative here out there. I'm gonna see you on my other episodes, and if you want to get to work with me, being the coach, it's gonna be down below. All the information they're gonna be down below as well. So I'm gonna talk to you soon again here, and like I say all the time, smile because it's free and contagious in a good way. Bye.